We're here with Parker, and Parker is an RC pilot, and he's also a real pilot. So, Parker, you started off flying just RC planes when you were 3 or 4 years old.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that. Your dad really got you involved doing that.
Yeah, so my dad is he was a full-scale pilot and RC guy, and whenever we started to get about 3 or 4, we would always go to the RC field with him because he flew IMAC and that sort of thing. So about 3 is when I started flying real flight. I think it was the second real flight. He would get me on there and I just practiced aerobatics, takeoff landings, and just started playing with it.
So you got involved with, and that was all RC flying at that point? Mm-hmm. Wow, that's amazing. So then after that, then you progressed and you got on the team with Futaba and another helicopter team?
Yeah, I flew for Futaba, which was under Hobbico. I started actually with Thunder Tiger helicopters, which was also Hobbico. Frank Knoll was the team manager for both.
Wow.
So Dad was on Team Futaba before that, so we already knew Frank and had a relationship with him. And so I flew helicopters for Thunder Tiger and did that for a couple years, and that kind of turned into flying for Futaba. And so I flew IMAC and did the freestyle stuff with that and RC helicopters.
Were you a 3D pilot on the helicopters as well? I've seen you fly 3D airplanes and you're awesome, so I would assume you're probably just as good on the helicopters as well.
So that's most of what I did, but this was all when I was about 13, so I was a lot younger back then.
So when did you start working on your actual license to fly real airplanes?
So I would always kind of ride with Dad in full-scale stuff, and we had an RV4 my granddad did at the time, so I would ride in the backseat with him. And usually about 15 is when I started actually we had to start taking it seriously and start doing private pilot stuff and get ready for the first solo and stuff.
Wow.
So I did my first solo in our Beechcraft Musketeer when I was 16.
16 years old, that's amazing. Wow.
And then did my private when I was 17, and then 18 is when I got to solo our T6, which the reason we stopped flying RC as much is because we started working with the full-scale warbird stuff.
Yeah, and you've been to a couple of shows as well. I saw some videos of you at Oshkosh and a couple other things, which was amazing. And you're actually flying these airplanes. Wow.
So I did my first full-scale air show at 18, and the commemorative Air Force, the High Sky Wing has a PT-19 Fairchild. So that was where I did my first solo air show. And then when I turned 19 and got my FAA formation card, I started doing formation stuff at air shows.
Wow.
So mostly I do Texas stuff, and now I'm starting to fly with Tora, flying the Cape. So this last year I got to go over Topeka, Oshkosh, and Dallas, Houston. So, and we're adding more shows this year, so I'm getting to expand from outside of Texas.
So that's for fun. Now I also heard that you do it commercially too. So you fly. That's where you make your money.
Yeah. So pay for that. When I was 19, I got my commercial and multi-engine commercial, and I was lucky when I was 19. I got a job flying charter as a co-pilot in the PC-12 Pilatus, and so I did that for 2 years and built about 500 hours in it. And after the company I flew for sold the Pilatus, they still managed airplanes, mostly 421s and 414s. So I moved over to building multi-engine time flying corporate in those.
So you're a young man. Where do you see yourself 10 years from now? What's your goal? I mean, you've accomplished a lot of stuff already. So I don't know what you plan on the future.
Mostly I want to build up the warbird stuff.
Okay.
I like working on them too, because you understand them a lot better when you're working on them and you're actually taking care of them. So you understand them, and it helps you fly them a little better because you start to understand the airplane. So I want to build up some warbird stuff, flying fighters, hopefully in the future, P-51, P-40.
Wow.
And the tour stuff as well, that's fun. I'm doing my front seat checkout this year, so I hope to continue touring. We're on our 50th season. So I hope to continue that in the future. And same with the corporate, and probably move over to the airlines.
That's awesome. So if you're trying to get a hold of Parker, I'm going to put his Instagram link down in the description below. This is a great young man he's got a whole future in him. Here we are with Garrett at the Tiny. This is a young man that's been flying for quite a bit. Garrett, tell me a little bit about yourself.
My name's Garrett Rathbun. I'm from Odessa, Texas. I'm 20 and I've been flying for 16 years. And this is my 10th time attending training.
So what do you all fly? You fly the small ones, large ones, or?
I fly everything from ultra micros to 200cc IMAC airplanes, and I also fly full scale outside of RC.
And you were on a team with Futaba, am I correct?
Yeah, Team Futaba, back when it was Habaco, and now Team Futaba USA.
So tell me a little bit about that. Did you travel with the team, or how did that work?
Yeah, growing up, my dad was on Team Futaba. He flew IMAC, flew unlimited for several years, and Frank Knoll was the team manager at the time, and he was real close with me and my brother and my dad. So as me and my brother matured, we eventually became members and flew IMAC, flew RC helicopters. We attended URSHA and flew the Power Hour for Thunder Tiger. So I'm in college. That's most of my time, but I always try to get away.
Are you going to continue with your flying?
Yeah, so I plan on being a full-scale pilot, maybe airlines or freight. And then
Good for you.
I'll always fly RC. It's everything outside of full-scale.
Wow. So this guy's been flying since he was 4 years old, and he is an awesome pilot.
This is the newest Comp ARF Indoor Extra 300. It released last year, and I've had it for just over a year, and it's probably my favorite I fly.
How heavy is this plane?
It's right around 50 grams without the battery.
And what size battery are you actually running with it?
I run a 2S 600 milliamp.
Wow.
It's a pretty small battery for how big an airplane is.
Yeah.
That's the idea, is see how light that is.
So if you like these videos, hit the thumbs up button, and we'll see you on the next video.